Welcome to This Week in 2016 Presidential Polls, where we look past the horse race to the numbers that really matter. Here's the polling news that you need to know for the week ending July 24th. And once again, Donald Trump is the big headliner. An ABC Washington Post national poll found him in a clear lead in the horse race, whereas a Monmouth University poll in Iowa found him in a solid second place there. Now, both of these polls were conducted from Thursday night through Sunday. Donald Trump made his controversial comments about John McCain on Saturday morning. So I think both pollsters felt obligated to make some analysis of what happened before and after. But they came to different conclusions. The Monmouth University poll found that there was no significant difference in the Saturday and Sunday night period versus the Thursday and Friday night period, whereas the ABC Washington Post poll found a significant drop-off in Trump support on that very last night of polling on Sunday. Now, we've got to be very clear about this. There are some indications here that there could be some changes in Trump's support, but it's very difficult to do that when you're looking at a night-by-night analysis of polling numbers when the sample is stretched over 4 days. So let's take a closer look at Trump's favorability on a daily basis, and I think that might help us sort this out. In Monmouth's Iowa poll, Trump ended the first night with a split 42% positive to 40% negative rating. That crept up to 47% favorable for Friday night and 55% favorable on Saturday night. It's worth noting that Trump made his comments on Saturday morning at a forum in Ames. We don't know when most Iowa Republicans would have become aware, but it is likely that the news spread fast among active voters there. Now, Trump's rating dropped significantly on Sunday night compared to Saturday. On the other hand, his Sunday rating actually matched Thursday's result. So we really don't know what this means unless we understand how the sample was distributed. Now, this is stretched over 4 nights, and each night the demographics of the sample are going to be different. So let's take a look at the groups that were most positive about Donald Trump in the poll. Very conservative Republicans who give Trump a 55% favorable rating made up half the sample on the first night, but were a smaller proportion on subsequent nights. Tea Party supporters who give Trump a 56% favorable rating overall had their highest representation on the first and last nights, and these were the nights when Trump did the worst among the full sample. Men who give Trump a 51% favorable rating were most represented on the last 2 days of polling. These are the days when Trump hit both his highest and lowest points. It's really tricky to draw definitive conclusions about whether there was an immediate reaction to Trump's statements and, of course, his opponent's criticism of it. There is some evidence in the polls, though, that Trump may have trouble retaining this top seating that he has had in these polls this week. And, of course, it always goes back to the fundamentals. Monmouth's Iowa poll provides further evidence that national security is the driving issue for Republican voters this year. Nearly half name this as one of the top factors in deciding who they will support for the GOP nomination, including evangelical voters. They put national security as a higher priority than their traditional concerns about social issues. Importantly, it's also worth noting that immigration is a factor for 3 in 10 caucus goers, but only 12% name it as their #1 concern. And this gives us a potential indication for the ceiling in Trump's support. Now, another poll came out this week. It was a PPP national poll, and it found that 22% of Republican voters actually agreed with Donald Trump on his statements about John McCain. That same poll also found that 19% of Republican voters actually back him in the horse race question, which for all intents and purposes means that practically everybody who agrees with him on the McCain statement is supporting him in this early poll. And that's a situation that's probably not sustainable. Of course, we said that about Trump's favorability numbers, which a month ago were very dismal, and he was able to turn those around. So we're going to have to stay tuned on this one. So those are the highlights and lowlights from this week in 2016 presidential polls. Until next time, I'm Patrick Murray from the Monmouth University Polling Institute.